June Dairy Month is probably, you've got to understand, dairy has been in my background forever, and I love dairy. Every meal has a glass of milk, it has some cheese in it, and I encourage each and every person to really, if you haven't explored the dairy case, whether it be the cow, whether it be the goat, I encourage you to experience those cheeses. The United States has many, many wonderful products. Here at LaClare, we make about 15 different varieties of hard cheeses along with many different kinds of our soft cheeses. If we look at the state of Wisconsin, we're pretty excited here because Wisconsin leads the nation in the number of milk goats, and from 2019 to 2020 we have increased by 14%. The next in line would be California at 43,000, so you can see the difference between Wisconsin and California. And so when we look at another dairy industry here in the state, the goat has certainly found its niche, shall we say. And you might kind of think about cow versus goat, and I need 10 goats for every one cow, because the average goat's going to give me about 6 to 8 pounds, and if you look at your average cow, she might be around that 60, 80, and needless to say, you have cows that certainly average much more. You have goats, we had one that was milking at 17 pounds a day, so you can kind of do that correlation. Then the next thing is so while you're busily milking your one cow, I have to be milking 10 goats. Yeah. And then when you're busily trimming your 4 hooves of your cow, if you have to, I have to trim my 40 hooves at least twice a year, or better, at least 3 times a year. And then when they give birth, your cow usually gives birth to a single, and your goat, if she's very young, very old, will probably give birth to a single, but otherwise it's going to be twins, triplets, and quads. The thing I always like to get people to start thinking about is, right now, as I am standing here, I am standing in the mecca of the dairy goat world of the United States. And the reason I say that is that here at LaClare, we're running about 1,000 young stock. We have Chilton Dairy just up the road from us. They're at that about the 5,000–6,000 dairy goat size that they are milking. Drumlin Dairy is in our location here, and they have around that 7,000 mark of dairy goats that they are milking. So if you stop and think of just this tiny little circle, we have a lot of dairy goats right in Calumet-Fond du Lac County. I always say the milking team is the A team. They're the ones that has to make sure that that goat is properly milked, that the milk is properly handled, that it's cooled down. And then our next team is going to be the plant, so that that plant is going to, again, properly handle that milk. They quickly move it through the pasteurizer, they cool it down into the bottles, which quickly get put into the cooler. And if we've done that right, you have some of the finest milk ever, but it doesn't stop there. We now look to retail. Everybody, from the time that it starts at the goat until it gets to the consumer, is a key player in that chain.